Welcome to High History, the show where we get lifted while digging deep into the past. This isn't your high school textbook history. No dusty dates, no boring lectures. We're talking the wild, the weird, and the what the hell really happened moments that shaped our world.
From revolutions to renaissance, from ancient queens to unsung geniuses, we bring you the stories that matter with a twist of comedy, culture, and community. So spark your curiosity and maybe something else. Lean back and let's get into some high history.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to High History. My name is Mo. I am the timekeeper, first of her name.
And I'm Nick, your witty librarian, the flame and the fact checker.
Woo woo! And I'm Danny, your Reaper ref, packing red and yellow, making sure we're in the center of the line.
That's right. That's right. And today we're talking about something that is, of course, wild, because you know that's my favorite word. But we're talking about what I like to call patent wars in the cotton gin. And I'm not going to say the curse word I want to say, but we're talking about capitalism, slavery, and honestly, stolen Black ingenuity. That's what we're talking about today. Eli Whitney and the cotton gin. Let's get into it.
This sounds devastating already.
I mean, slavery is
Yeah.
pretty devastating across centuries, across different communities, different cultures, different ethnicities. It's just a bummer, you know? So it's not that fun to talk about, but I'm going to try my best to bring some levity where it's appropriate. But mostly I'm just talking about bitch ass Eli Whitney. Okay, let's go.
Wait, I just gotta say though, I know that things are sometimes hard to talk about, but we must. And we must so that we remember, so that we do not repeat.
Correct. That's why we're here.
Right. So I'm here with you. I know it's tough. And yes, I feel like we're going to add some levity to this because that's how we get through it. But we must remember the past. Puff, puff.
I agree.
Past.
I agree. And that as well. So, all right. So there's a story that we're told about American innovation, you know, which starts a lot from stealing from people, but
Right.
this person was considered a lone genius, right? You know, he had this brilliant idea, a patent we're talking about, and a big fortune, like foundational stuff to America and what we create and manufacture, right? But today's story we're talking about ends with enslaved people working more, not less, a white inventor going broke, Southern plantation owners getting rich, which is crazy, and Black ingenuity, like I said, never even seeing a dime from all of this. So this is the story of the cotton gin and why the patent system was never, ever neutral. All right.
Oh
right,
boy.
This sucks.
Oh boy.
I know.
But also when we finish this, there's a lot of pattern repeating.
Always.
But please continue.
We never learn.
Let's hear about one of the original parts of this pattern, if you will.
Right. So it's the late 1700s. You know, cotton is profitable. It's big time profitable, but only one type, right? Short staple cotton grows easily across the American South. It's what we do, right? The problem is separating the sticky seeds from the fibers is very slow and is very brutal work. And it is primarily what the enslaved folks do, right? So by hand, one enslaved worker could clean about 1 pound of cotton per day. 1 pound, just 1 pound, which is kind of a lot because
that is a lot,
right? Yeah.
That's a lot of cotton. And also, you're right, because the cotton industry literally almost built 10 times over what the revenue streams of the US were previous to it.
Mm-hmm. It's like what we did. Entire plantations like bottleneck though at the processing part, right? Because I mean, it's slow, brutal work. And plantation owners, of course, money hungry people that they were,
Mm-hmm.
and cruel and all the things. Plantation owners were desperate for a fix, not to free labor, but to extract more from it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to
Well,
extract more,
yeah, they got to make
labor
more
in the
money
process.
because you know
Absolutely.
once you hit that 10% threshold, you're like, oh, I bet I could get to like 50% more revenue if I did something different. I bet I could get 100% more. I could be as rich as enough to own a country. Oh, what happened?
Look at that, right? All right, but in 1793, this young Yale graduate by the name of Eli Whitney visits Georgia. Excuse me. He's staying at a plantation that's run by Catherine Green, who is this wealthy widow with deep Southern connections. But here's the part people skip. Whitney didn't even grow up around cotton. He did not work in the fields, of course. He did not clean cotton by hand. The people who understood the problem most intimately,
Were the people
enslaved Black workers
who were picking the cotton.
who had already been experimenting with tools like rollers, brushes, and like other methods for years because they were the ones that were most intimately knew the process
Right.
because they had to do it, right?
Yeah.
So
But this
Whitney's
also goes to show you though, like how the classes viewed each other. So much so they
Right.
wouldn't even go down, right? Because they're up on this high mountain. They cannot come down and talk to the people that are doing the work.
right.
They
So
might slip and fall.
Whitney, they might slip and fall. Exactly. So, he observed, he sketched it out. He builds a crude machine using wire teeth, a rotating cylinder, and a mesh that like pulls fiber through, but traps the seeds, which is the worst part of the
Right.
process, right? And it ends up working. And boom, cotton gin is born. Straight up.
He just like roll my dice this one time and create this now, abracadabra. And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Literally,
And it
that does
worked.
not ever work for inventors.
No, I mean, is it really abracadabra when you're just observing what people are already doing? Kind of in some ways, you're taking little pieces from what works, and then you're putting it together. But it's the things that are already being done kind of work. You're accelerating it and you're putting things together, but you're still like stealing stuff from people, like processes from people, right? And he didn't know much about cotton. He just knew that there was a problem, which I mean, that part of it is like, yeah, that's just like startup culture right now, like, bam, you have a problem. You take what's out there and you create a solution for it. There's very few things that are created that are like brand new. Very few things. A lot of it is repackaging or taking a little bit from here, a little bit from there, rebranding it somehow. That's what most stuff is these days.
You're totally right.
And so
Word.
Electricity wasn't even a Thomas Edison invention. It was used by the
Like 68
Egyptians.
people were in that process. 68
Yeah.
people before
But it-
Thomas Edison.
even before that, the Egyptians used it in like 1400s.
yeah.
I mean, they do
Right.
have hieroglyphics not hieroglyphics. They have
It's written.
carvings on their walls.
I read a Bible entry that talked about electricity
Oh, wow.
in the 1400s. I'll find that.
Okay.
Please do bring that back to the pod so we can
Yeah.
like explore that a little bit more because I'm very interested.
Because that's a great
in that.
historical air quote record.
Exactly. The quotes, yes. All right, this is a lie we were sold though. So this is how it gets framed in textbooks. Quote, the cotton gin reduced labor and help end slavery, end quote. That's the way it's been framed in so many history books.
Wow.
But that is
I feel
aggressively false.
Yeah.
Like,
They also missed a lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure did.
It
Yes.
went from like
So
0 to a million real quick. A to Z.
real quick.
Bam.
Real
End of
quick.
story. In the beginning, there was slavery. The end.
The end. It just helped reduce labor and helped end slavery. What? So what actually happened? What actually happened? So cotton production exploded, of course, because the process is no longer slow and arduous. People can still kind of get through it a lot faster. Cotton exports become the backbone of the US economy during that time. Crazy growth happens. The demand for enslaved labor also skyrockets because you need someone to run the damn cotton gin.
Mhm.
And and before the cotton gin, like cotton was more of a regional crop. But after the gin, it became king, right? Slavery expanded west, enslaved populations were sold south in massive numbers, like crazy numbers. And so the cotton gin didn't reduce slavery, it industrialized it
Yeah, that's
in
fucking
a
wild.
way that nothing else had.
That sounds very American.
Eli Whitney's bitch ass.
You see what I'm saying? You see why I keep saying it?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's fucking wild.
Because to me, industrializing slave labor in the way that the cotton gin did was just it. I mean, it took it to a whole other form because when you think about power, when you think about money, and how like people, I mean, not that enslaved labor was looked at, they weren't looked at as people, right? They were looked at as whole persons, but it made it 10 times worse
Yeah, I think
because
it
it's
was
like
3/4
widgets in a
person.
factory. Yeah, it's like widgets.
Jesus.
It's crazy to me. And
Or
so
3/5 of a widget.
Yeah,
3/5
no,
of a
not
widget.
3/5. I think it's 3/4
3/5.
in the
It
Constitution.
was
3/5 compromise.
3/5.
Okay,
Yes,
there you go.
3/5.
There you go.
Like it actually like it's so aggressively like wrong to me. And I'm
Yeah.
using the word aggressive because that is literally teaching people in school, which we talk about a lot on this pod, how like who wins the war, the information war, that's whose story gets told.
Yeah.
It's the story that's written about, it's the story that's shared, it's the story that's like, and so it's just so important to be able to like look at things from a historically factual basis and extract what actually really happened. So anyway, sorry, I get like really mad about this because it's insane. But like, so let's get into the patent wars, right? This is when capitalism really enters the chat. Okay.
Mm.
Whitney patents the cotton gin in 1794. Instead of selling the machine outright, he tries something bold. He charges plantation owners a percentage of their profits. The South is like, absolutely not. Plantation owners built illegal copies of the machine. They bribe mechanics and they dare Whitney to sue them. So they're like making him even more of a bitch ass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Like, I can't hear you, Danny. I don't know if you're saying anything.
I'm
Nope.
chewing.
Okay.
I'm just so frustrated right now. I'm just chewing on these nuts.
Oh my Lanta.
So yes, like he was like, give me a percentage, give me a piece. And they were like, no, we're just gonna copy you. And then threaten, like, you want to sue? Try it. But he does. Like he tries to
How did
sue
it work
for
out?
years. For years. So welcome to the American patent system, which is very expensive, very slow, and designed for people with capital and influence. Been that way for a very long time.
Wait,
So Whitney
you're
spends
saying
more
that there's a business or a government thing that's only designed for people with money?
Exactly. Exactly. So Whitney spends more time in court pretty much than in any kind of production. And by the time the patent expires, the South is very rich. Slavery is entrenched, and Whitney is basically broke.
Wow.
So capitalism, one, it worked, just not for the inventor, just not for him, right?
Yeah.
But it definitely worked for the Southern plantation owners.
Also good karma though for him. Like, this is what you get for stealing and making other people's lives worse.
Factual.
Exactly.
That's instant karma right there.
Like
Exactly.
that video
So,
of the blue truck that flipped a lady off and then immediately crashed into a building.
Jesus.
mhm,
That was great.
mhm.
Savage.
Love instant karma.
All right. So I know I feel like I'm taking a long time because I keep like being flabbergasted by this. But who really paid the price was, let's be clear about the hierarchy of loss, right? First, enslaved Black workers. They were the ones who really paid the price. They were forced into longer hours, larger plantations. There was more violence, no credit for anything, no ownership over anything, no freedom. Period. Whitney is number two, right? He loses control of his invention and the profits are never as they were promised to him, right? And three, the plantation owners, which F them really, they win completely. They win completely. They grow rich, they expand slavery, and what I just mentioned earlier, they rewrite the story. They're
Right.
the ones that were able to rewrite the story. The cotton gin is remembered as innovation, but innovation for whom? And
The
so
rich
here's the
white
part that exactly, right? So here's the part that history avoids is why was a white outsider able to patent knowledge developed on plantations while the people who generated that knowledge were legally considered property? Like, why was that able to happen? And it's because enslaved people couldn't hold patents, that 3/5 of a human thing, couldn't own inventions, couldn't testify in court, couldn't profit off their own labor or ideas. This
Right.
wasn't a bug, right? This was the system working as specifically designed at that time,
Yeah.
which is not new. So the cotton gin basically was remembered as innovation. But innovation for whom is the big question. And the even bigger question, and the question that history likes to not really address, is why was a white outsider able to patent knowledge that was developed on plantations while like the people who pretty much created that knowledge base considered like legally considered property?
Yeah.
Why was that able to happen? And it was basically because enslaved people couldn't hold patents or own their own inventions or testify in court or profit from their own labor or ideas. And it was the system designed exactly as it was working the way it was designed.
For rich white people.
There's
Yes.
arguments that say the government is a system design working exactly the way it was designed.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Yeah, because if you go back and read the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, it really does say in there, women are never mentioned.
Mhm.
African Americans, 3/5 of a person. It absolutely does not include Native Americans. Would never, shall never, won't ever. Yeah, it's pretty shitty. It's
And also
designed for white males.
the patent system also designed for a lot of money. And some like Edison and Franklin were frequently notorious for stealing inventions of other people. They were patent bullies.
Yeah. And if you got the money, you can do it, right? Because
Yeah.
the other party is going to spend all their money in court, all their money fighting the battle that still happens to this day, right? And so this is exactly, to a certain extent, I mean,
I'm
this is
just
kind of
kidding.
why it still matters, right? Because
It does happen today.
I mean, we fast forward, you got intellectual property laws, tech extraction, you got cultural theft. We see
Like-
cultural theft happen all the time.
Yep.
Taylor Swift trying to fight her original label
Yep.
for her
And
music.
we also have labor invisibility as well. Like I think about sweatshops, I think about a lot of different things that happen. And different industries, but same pattern. We talk about patterns all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's important to know where the patterns start, because then we get to where we are now. And I find a lot of times like people have this like kind of sense of entitlement of like all organizations need to pay my salary and benefits. Benefits are optional in today's society.
Mm-hmm.
So we have come a long way to where we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the
Absolutely.
literal blood, sweat, and tears of other people.
So, I mean, the cotton gin, that whole story, it teaches us, to me, that innovation doesn't equal justice. Like, it's not one and the same. And I knew that already, but it's not the way it's always presented in the history books, right? Efficiency does not mean humanity. All of these things are things you know, but it's like these are lessons that are just like drilled down. And capitalism loves to claim brilliance after erasing who paid the cost.
Right, yeah.
We can think of a lot of examples there, right?
There's no shortage of examples there. That's what's so shitty.
Railroads, yeah, so many.
It's so shitty.
So many. So many. So y'all remember, the next time someone says that dumb statement of, slavery would have ended sooner without the cotton gin, would have ended sooner without the cotton gin. And it's like, no, like we know that the cotton gin just accelerated slavery into a crazy amount. It enriched the pockets of people who were plantation owners, slave owners. And it really, really, I think, doubled down on like that whole need for efficiency and not taking any kind of humans into account.
Facts.
That's just what it is. And then, of course, with the patent thing, it just continued, the pattern of capitalism coming in and winning constantly. So the machine didn't fail.
The
machine didn't fail. Morality did, but the machine didn't fail.
Morality fails a lot.
Or it's just experiencing the effects of gravity.
Gravity works.
Gravity works. Gravity works.
The logic is erratic.
Yes.
Right. Well, I also thought about, we're going to wrap this up, but it made me think about big tech and AI, honestly.
Yeah.
Like innovation built on invisible labor. Like even thinking about like how modern AI systems are trained by text written by real people and cultural knowledge that's scraped from the internet. And it's just like, man,
further than that, into what is needed to power all that is water and electricity, and you need coal to power that, and the miners that have put their lives on the line and suffer from generational health issues that have shortened lifespans, less access to geographic living spaces or education. Right. So you can trace any of these back.
Yeah. There's a bunch of different ways. You got healthcare, medical research, you got fashion, you got a bunch of different, even music.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like it's just so many different things. So I feel like I dumped on you all some.
It was heavy, but
I had to make it interesting.
Fucking Eli Whitney. Yeah, I know he's not the only one.
Oh, for sure.
And he's not the only one.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not.
It's definitely a pattern, but when you look at the country, innovation really has kind of moved us into the industrial revolution, the technological revolution we're moving through soon. And at the end of each of these periods of revolution, you look back and you look at the literal trail of bodies, and it's almost like it's getting larger.
Yeah. Deaths in the name of innovation don't matter.
The cost of growth is getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe
all right.
Well, maybe we'll learn this time around.
You're
so optimistic. I like that about you sometimes.
I mean, there's a universe out there, a multiverse somewhere where we did learn and shit is going great. And there's also a multiverse out there where there's a matriarchy and it's also probably going great. There's probably a universe where we're all squid, and I'm sure that one's going great.
Or octopus, because they are
or octopus, yeah.
Octopi.
Octopus. They're so
They're from
smart.
outer space. They are.
They
Indian,
are.
Indian DNA.
There's actually
are.
a few species of animals that have some crazy shit, like the cuttlefish.
Fair enough. Not one to cuddle with.
Yeah, don't that.
Right. Don't do that.
But also, can't you like camouflage to being invisible like the octopus?
Yes, it can.
Yeah, I can.
And what's the
Yeah.
one that grows limbs back? The starfish?
Yeah,
Yeah,
starfish.
yeah, but there's actually a algae looking thing that grows. It looks like almost jelly, and scientists have cut it up and it regenerates itself. It can't die. So like one of the scientists cut it into like 27 pieces, and then
Yes.
all those 27 pieces grew its own.
Hi.
Yeah.
So it does it. It's immortal. It's like
Yeah, it's essentially immortal. Yeah.
well, not immortal, not immortal because it's not, but doesn't
But
die.
No,
That's
it
kinda
doesn't
cool.
die. And then they think that each of those has the same memory.
Oh, that's
Wow.
wild. That's like the
That's
One Piece
so
pirate thing,
cool.
the chop
Yep.
fruit.
Let me see if I can find it. If I can, I'll throw
That's
it
why
up
the
there.
ocean is really outer space, man.
You
Sorry,
know,
it just
and
is.
to tie it back to our episode, I do think that it's possible and hopeful for future humanity, because at some point we got to learn, or we're going to
Yeah.
turn into jellyfish, and jellyfish just float along without a brain, just
Mhm.
living their best lives until the turtles
right.
eat them to get stoned.
That's right. Until the turtles eat them. All right. Well, thanks for hanging with me for this episode where I talked about a man I don't like, but
Fucking
that
Eli
happens frequently. You guys, what's the last word, Danny?
Eat snacks, stay hydrated, be kind, and if you really want justice, I guess we're gonna have to call Batman.
Word.
It's not happening here in this country.
Right. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, stay classy, Mr. Whitney.
That's what you get.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this week's episode. We hope that you join us next time. Check out our other episodes on our YouTube channel. And yeah, this has been High History. Stay chronically curious. And yeah, High History, where inventions can be impressive.
Yep.
And we also delve into some deeply uncomfortable backstories, but that's part of the fun. Thanks for joining us. See you next week. Bye.